Hey everybody, hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm gonna have to pardon my voice. I tend to lose my voice easily, and with everything going on, probably a little more stress than normal. So I want to thank you for attending the first of many webinars from Jam Packed Eats. These are obviously very tough times that we're all facing, and especially the hospitality industry. I heard today that hotels, in a matter of either a month or two, they're expecting to lose 50% of their employees unless something changes drastically. And obviously, that's a small part of hospitality, food, beverage, airlines, cruises, etc. And we're here to try and make a little dent or a big dent with restaurateurs in the world of restaurants. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. It's 2:01. And this is going to be about 30, 45 minutes. We have a few questions. We're going to have questions at the end. Some questions lined up from people that have actually emailed me that said they may not be able to attend because of everything happening. We all know most restaurants are shut down right now. Just what's it called? Takeout and delivery are what's being offered, and that's still not everywhere in the country. It just happens to be in certain areas. But we'll make the best of this. That's the whole idea. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's important that we all understand that we will get through this, and hopefully we can do our small part here in providing value. This is probably not the most relevant website, but webinar. But you can imagine that this wasn't a week ago or 2 weeks ago when we started doing this. We didn't know what was going to happen, so it is what it is. We're going to be working on more relevant webinars over the course of the next few weeks. And like I said, the goal is to add value as much as possible to restaurateurs in the face of looks to be a very challenging few weeks, months, and potentially longer. So let's get started. So basically what this is all about is having a website that converts casual users, so people on the World Wide Web coming to your website and then deciding, you know what, I want to eat at your restaurant. That's what the goal is, okay? There are all types of websites, good, bad, indifferent. We're going to try and give you benchmarks of what makes a good website and what you need to do in order to do your website. And this is not a pitch, by the way, to do your website. You guys you probably have a website designer, but these are elements that you should be asking your website designer, developer, hey, how do I get this on? How do I move my website in this direction so that it converts more? Bottom line, this is not a branding exercise. This is we want more conversion exercise, which means we want more people coming to the site, and as a result, then going to our restaurants, okay? So the world of digital, there's a lot of things going on, right? And we know that there's not every restaurant or most restaurants do all of these things. Some do a little bit, some do a lot. But bottom line is, a lot of times it's the website that's kind of the glue that holds everything together on the World Wide Web. Okay, we're talking about online. Now, there's of course there's online sales, online reservations. People can eat at your restaurant online, obviously, but in the world of Google, in the world of Yelp, in the world of TripAdvisor, in the world of Facebook, people are looking for for a restaurant like yours, either taco, pizza, Indian, whatever. And many times they'll go to the website to look at your menu, to look at your ambiance, to see pictures of your food. Okay, so this is a very very strong overview of what everything does. Everything online has potential to do for your restaurant. What the website arguably is the glue, not necessarily the most important, but it is a very important part of your strategy. And it's really something that most restaurateurs spend money on, and they should, but they don't necessarily know what they're doing in the sense of what's going to give them the biggest bang for their buck. So right now, if I could get everybody to turn off their phones, turn off Facebook, and like I said, this is a 30 to 60 minute webinar, and there's no pitch whatsoever. If you would like help, of course we're going to offer it, but I'm here to give you as much value as possible so that you see what you could be doing on your website to make it better. So who am I and why should you listen to me? So I've owned and operated a marketing agency, digital, for the last 10 years. and I'm also a sales and marketing consultant for different businesses, okay? I've been doing this all my life. I feel like all my life. I love marketing. I love what I do, and I have a passion for it. So I've worked in the food and beverage industry for over 6 years. I started off as a waiter, a bartender, and back in Vancouver, Canada, in my college years. And then I also worked for Wendy's Latin America for almost 4 years. And then I've worked in multiple restaurants in different positions as well. An expert, I use that loosely, but I'm a specialist or someone who knows about lead generation, which is kind of what we do. I'm currently writing a book for restaurateurs on how to use digital marketing. I also have a patent pending technology, which I'm really excited about. So I'm an inventor for the restaurant industry. And I'm also one of 2 co-founders of Jam Packed Eats. The other co-founder is Moses Gabriel, and he is busy trying to figure out what we're going to do now for the next few months. So what is the problem we're all facing? So apart from the coronavirus, which is, like I said, it kind of snuck up on us, sort of, kind of didn't. But assuming this wasn't around, and that's a pretty bad, or depending on how you look at it, good or bad assumption, you know, what investment do you want to make in a restaurant? What should you be doing investment-wise for the restaurant? Now, even if, and this is obviously, like I said, coronavirus is here. It's here to stay for at least a few more months at the minimum. So what do we do for a restaurant? And it's pretty straightforward. It is takeout and delivery, right? Most people know not to congregate, not to be in groups of 10 more people or even 5. It's dangerous. So as a restaurant, where should you be investing your money, right? And from a digital perspective, the question then is, where do I spend my money to get traffic? Traffic are eyeballs. Traffic are visitors to my site. People that, if I want to order out, if I want to take delivery, I'm going to have to go to your website. I can go to Uber Eats. I can go to other delivery services. But the reality is, I would rather, from a restaurateur point of view, have them come to my website, order for me, and then I figure out how I get it to them. Either they come and pick it up, or I do the delivery, or I let them know Uber Eats is going to do it for them. But the question is, there's a lot of stuff out there, and most stuff delivers a low ROI. Arguably, a website delivers a low ROI if it's done the old-fashioned way, right? What we're trying to get through here with this webinar is we want people to get to the site and be inspired to go and sit in your restaurant, or in this case, get delivery or get takeout from your restaurant. That's what we want you to do, what we want happening after they visit your website, okay? Now, is there an easy, hands-off way to induce restaurant loyalty? The answer is yes, okay? A website plays a major role here, and other channels like a Facebook, like an Instagram, like social media. But in this case, you need to have those channels and buttons on your website. Okay, so fail. Restaurants fail when there are not enough customers coming to the website, right? And they don't invest in whatever food you're offering. And for that reason, you can't grow. Now, like I said, please give me some leeway in terms of this site. This webinar was built prior to the coronavirus. I didn't have time to make changes to it that would supplement kind of what's going on today, but I will do my best to try and make it real world applicable. A lot of it still is, because a website is a website, whether or not we have coronavirus or we don't. But of course, now it's not a matter of having them sit in your restaurant. It is, can they order from my chain, my establishment over the phone, or takeout or delivery, all right? So what makes a great converting website? Okay, we're gonna have examples here, and let me be straightforward. These are not customers of ours. What we've done is we've done the research of finding what we believe really good websites, and we're gonna go into some of the data, not of those websites, once again, because they're not customers of ours, but basically of other customers that we service, but to show you what you should be looking for from a website, okay? Now, it's important to understand that a website should be a converting machine. So that means that it gets people in the door, and it provides some sort of call to action. And that call to action nowadays is going to be call me, because why, you want to take out or deliver, okay? The call to action could also be look at my menu. The call to action could also be chat with me. If you have a chat function or a chat software on your website, hey, why don't we have a conversation? That might be more important than ever than before, right? Because not everybody wants to pick up the phone. But we have to give them options. Everybody's different. And obviously, the more options you give people, the more likely they're going to want to communicate with you. So momentum and consistent restaurant is important for growth of any restaurant, because obviously you need that to sustain, to have your doors, quote unquote, open. It's a little bit of an oxymoron right now, but to make sure that you have enough people to pay for the back end, the chefs, the kitchen, etc. And you want them to make sure that you have enough money, the people coming in and ordering, that you can keep your delivery doors open. Okay. So what does success look like? Success is, of course, the phone ringing. It's customers ordering for takeout or delivery from you, and of course having a quote unquote booming business in the times we're in today, right? A booming business in the past would have been restaurant full, line at the door. Now that is exact opposite. We don't want restaurants full. There are no lines, but we want to have a consistent call or online orders of your food getting out the door and into people's homes, and that's what we consider now a success. So your website is really a hub. It's a hub of many, many different things. First and foremost, your menu, right? People don't always understand. We'll get into this. You know, should I have a PDF menu? Should I have a HTML menu? We'll get into this later, because there's also other elements of marketing besides websites, obviously. But one of the things is local marketing, right? And SEO. But when I'm Googling something, taco restaurant near me, or sushi I live in Coral Gables, the city, sushi in Coral Gables, I want to be able to pull up on my phone the menu, right? I only be able to see it on my phone. But your website, once again, they may go to your website. So your website needs to be the hub, the glue that holds everything together, as I said earlier. So this is arguably the most important slide in the entire thing. I'm going to take my time to go through this, but it's important that you all understand why conversion is so important. Obviously, you can see in the red, there is a 5% conversion and a 15% conversion. Now, these numbers are they're probably pretty realistic in terms of opportunities from a website, and the numbers may or may not be high for you depending on how much marketing you do to your website. But we had to make the numbers somewhat high so that the numbers made sense. Okay, so if we have 3,000 in both scenarios, we have 3,000 visitors. The only difference is the conversion. Now, once again, a conversion is a call. A conversion is an order over the online order. A conversion is a takeout, okay? That is important. The differences from there on are pretty dramatic and pretty drastic. So that 10% difference in conversion rates will amount to a difference in the number of calls, right? And then assuming the people that call, right? They take the call, they take the lead, they take the action. If that conversion rate stays the same, so of the people that call, 30% will actually place an order over the phone, and that is the same for both. Well, then what happens is you have a drastic difference in the number of new customers you have, from 22 to 135. And once again, we're assuming the same transaction value of $45, right? Probably a family of four, each meal, and maybe some, appetizer, you're looking at $8, $10, $12. So we took a number of 45. There's almost over a $5,000 difference in the conversion rate based on the initial website. Okay, that's what we're trying to get to, and that's what we're trying to communicate through this webinar. So why is getting a website to convert so important? Obviously, conversion is critical, something that a lot of website designers don't understand, don't necessarily know. Website designers are great. I started my company and my business as a website design company. However, they're not necessarily marketers, right? And so it's super important to understand that as a marketer, I want customers of mine to say, you know what, your website looked great, but more importantly, you allowed me to grow my business, to get more customers through my door or on the phone or order food online from me. That's what I'm looking for, okay? So just so you guys are clear, we also have a workbook. If you want to take a snapshot of this image, it's basically a workbook that describes the 11 elements we deem to be very, very important for our website. We've written them down. It's in a PDF. Hopefully you guys can grab the information, and like I said, present it to your website designer and say, listen, of all these, which are the ones can we do right away? Which are the ones that we need to take some time to develop even further, okay? So take a picture or write this down. here are the 11 elements. And I'm not going to read through them, but I'm going to give you the ones that, and these may not even be the most important in terms of what you guys, this is going to be depending on where you are in your marketing, where you are in your business, because number one, the avatar, who are you reaching? That's a pretty much a marketing 101 question, right? Who are you trying to get to with your taco store, with your pizza parlor, with your whatever? So you have to figure out who that is. One of the things that I'm a big proponent of is video, right? Taking videos of, right, of the kitchen, of the food preparation, of happy customers. People love seeing other people in videos. And the more videos you have about your restaurant, what you do, the better. And you can always compile like a best of, or what I call Hollywood trailer of your restaurant, okay? Another thing, super important, social proof. Yelp reviews, Google reviews, Facebook reviews, TripAdvisor reviews. Put the logos and put the stars and then the number of reviews you have per channel. And yes, that's going to change. But hopefully you have enough right now that when people go to your website and say, holy crap, these guys have 234 reviews on Google. Okay, they look credible. So people don't want to be the first ones. You're going to a restaurant and not having any reviews. Forget reviews on that platform, on Google and Yelp. I'm talking now on your website. You want to put the images of those review platforms on your website with hopefully 4.5, 5 stars and the total number of reviews. Okay, a few more that are very important. Phone number, right-hand side. Do not please make the phone number big. I'm sorry, make the phone number big. Do not make it small. The phone number should be arguably the biggest thing you see on the page, right? You want it standing out, huge on your page. And the last thing I want to stress is site speed. I cannot tell you how much this kills a website. Now there are other, if you can go to Google and just put website speed measure, and there's all free ones, right? Put your website URL in there, and it will tell you how good your website is in terms of the speed to load. So this is very important. How fast does it load on your phone? How fast does it load on a desktop? It should tell you both. And one other thing too that I think is super, super important, and this is an obvious one, most customers in a restaurant are on their phones. Please, please, please make sure your website is mobile optimized. We're gonna have some examples, but do not think that because it's on desktop, we're all good. 60, 70% of people are on their phones and they're looking at reviews, looking at your website, looking at your restaurant on their phone. If your website does not look good on the phone, guess what? There's a chance they're gonna leave. So do not take that chance. Spend a little bit extra money and make sure your website is mobile optimized. So what is the one element that will have the biggest impact on the results of your overall internet marketing efforts? So the question is, and excuse the picture because once again, this is not where we are supposed to be. This is not where we were last week. We want them to call or line up. In this case, we want them to call and order food. And we want them to call and basically order out, take out, delivery, etc. So what exactly makes a website good, right? And this, once again, this is a random website. This is not one of our clients. One of the things that they did very well is a picture of the food, right? And this is from another client of ours. And basically what we're trying to say here is you need to know, Mr. Restaurateur, how many people are coming to your site, how long they're spending on your website. The bounce rate is how many people came in and came out. Now the thing is, how many pages did they visit? If your website is multiple pages, hopefully your menu's on a different page with a different link, and they're gonna visit that page. No, a video is a different page. You want that bounce rate to be as low as possible, but anything below 60% is deemed pretty good, okay? And last but not least, you want, and this is very important, I don't think a lot of restaurants do this, you want to track the clicks and the phone calls. There is something called call tracking. You can put a phone number that is a mirror image of your phone number, right? And basically make sure that every call that comes in, it gets tracked. Now, the argument is, well, what happens if I change, if someone writes that number down and they have that number? You're right, and that does happen, and that's gonna happen no matter what. But the reality is, when I'm in the city, and I want to go to a sushi restaurant. I'm going to pull up a store. I'm going to pull up on my phone, and I want to call them there. I want to be able to, as a restaurant, track how many calls came as a result of whatever I'm doing from my website. Okay, not from Google, from my website. So it's tracking everything as much as possible where you can track, and making sure that it is being it's given the proper weight, so you know what to change, where to make revisions, and what's going to actually give you the best ROI. Another example of a website, right? Bright colors. You know, restaurants tend to be places where people like to, you know, come and enjoy a drink. There's companies, show the ambiance, show what your restaurant's about. You know, this is a great website, in my opinion, because just of a simple color scheme, it invites people, right? Another very simple website performance page. And once again, these are all, if you have a website developer, they may not be able to do this for you, but you can find companies that actually allow you to determine the website performance. They're not going to charge you an arm and a leg, but you need to understand, especially if you're driving people to the website, and let's say and you're spending money in marketing, you should be asking people, telling people, go to my website, check out my menu, check out my food, check out some videos, etc. You want people to go there, and you should know if that is actually working or not. Okay. Another part is the actual, and we talked about this a couple times. What's the best way to show your menu on your website? You know, you want to make sure that on the phone, on somebody's phone, they can easily read. So that obviously the font needs to be a decent size. The font needs to be a decent color, so that it's easy to read. Because once again, your phone is different from a desktop, right? Size-wise. So you want to have font and color that makes sense. And also scrolling ability, right? How can we get your website to convert 2 to 4 more times than it currently is right now? Is that even possible? You know, what are the changes that need to be made so that people, when we say convert, once again, we're not necessarily talking about, we're going to assume that somebody that comes to your site, they want your food. They're looking for an Indian restaurant. They're looking for an American style, burger style restaurant, okay? But when they're on your site, are you giving them enough signals, enough information for them to say, you know what? Yes, I wanna inquire more. That is the phone call. That is the online order that we're asking, that we think we can help you to convert 2 to 4 times more. I love this quote. If you can see Mary Jane through Mary Jane's eyes, then you can see what Mary Jane buys. So you want to look at your website through your avatar. Your avatar, if you don't know what that is a person that you're trying to attract. Now, a lot of restaurants say, I want to attract everybody. Yes, but for example, I go to a restaurant in the Coral Gables, and I love sushi, right? Are they trying to attract professionals? Are they trying to attract a younger crowd? You know, in terms of overall, yes, they want anybody to come in and experience their food, but is there a theme, or is there a type of person that is more suited to your kind of food, right? If I were you guys, take a picture of the screen. This is something that I've used over and over again from a very successful company called Digital Marketer. It talks about the avatar, what they looks like. This is probably a little deeper than what a restaurant needs, but it gives you a very good understanding of how to evaluate an avatar, how to define, how to describe an avatar to somebody. Said, who do you want coming to your restaurant? If you can fill this out, you're ahead of the game, okay? So it's a lot more information you need, but it's also very helpful in terms of an exercise. So take a picture and we'll move on. So some of the things that, I'm not gonna go through this detail by detail, but of course, demographics, you know, who are they? Are they a homeowner? How old are they? Is this a family-friendly restaurant, right? What are they looking for? Is it obviously everybody wants good food and good service, right? But in terms of good food, is it average food? Is it great food? I mean, and it's based a lot of times on your pricing, okay? What are some of the pains and frustrations? Well, you know what? Speed is very important for some people. For fast casual, they want come in, order, and get out right away, right? They're not looking at if the lines are too big, or you're too slow to prepare the food. If it's food that's already prepared or has to prepare, they're not willing to wait. All this stuff comes into effect, right? Fears and implications, right? Being ripped off. Is the food good quality? Is it a good ROI for the consumer, right? If I pay $25, am I getting a really good meal that I can appreciate, that I like, and I'm willing to come back? And then with respect to some of the goals, fast, friendly, easy, great service, right? Do I feel taken care of? Service-wise, smiles, good morning, good afternoon, how are you, sir? All that stuff. Very your actual restaurant, but from a perspective, but you should always prioritize as well. What are they really looking for? Okay, speak to your ideal customer. So here we go. And this is a lot of times with your food, right? So have lots of photos of your food, different angles of your food, videos of your food. People are going to a restaurant to eat well, to eat something that they enjoy. So make sure they see what it is you're offering, okay? Be real and authentic. I cannot stress enough, I'm a video guy. My background's video. Have a video of the owner, of the GM, of some waiters and waitresses, of the kitchen staff, of the valet service, if you have it, showing your restaurant, talking about who you service, why you service them, how you service them, and of course, images and video of your food. Okay. So leverage multimedia. So once again, obviously, video is multimedia. You can have carousels of photographs. You can have all different elements of multimedia on your website. You don't have to go crazy. We're not talking about spending tens of thousands of dollars. You can build a really good website for a few $1,000s. And as long as you have these elements, that's going to help you to convert, right? We've talked about social proof, right? And in this case, if you look at the first one, has 2,225 reviews. I would put that on my website, put Google, put the 4.4 stars, and put the number of reviews as of that date. Yes, that's going to change. You may want to change it every 6 months. That's great. But people are going to be wowed by that number. They go, holy crap. So on the Gringos Locals Washington has that many reviews. It's got to be a great place. So do not just leave it to the Googles of the world, the Yelps of the world, to have the reviews there. Put this information on your website. This is, now I think about it, probably the most important thing you can do, because that's where, if they're going to see your website, they're taking the time to click to your website, and they can see this. That is a huge conversion booster. Have special offers, okay? So make sure that's front and center. You can do pop-ups, right? Of what's taking place that week, that day, that month. What are you offering that's different? That is a one-time thing, or it's for the week, etc. It's a theme, whatever. Make sure that you don't hide that. Don't put that on the third page of your website. Put it front and center on the home page. Make sure your website is mobile friendly. I cannot stress that enough. Okay, we talked about this. There are 4.8 billion people now on their phones, right? Worldwide, so it's not really helpful for the US. 3 out of 5 customers search for local businesses on their phones. Google reports that 40% of mobile consumers turn to a competitor's site after a bad web experience. So make sure that what they see on their phone is relevant. Obviously, something called click to call. If I dial a number on your website, on your mobile optimized site, it should come straight into my phone, right? I shouldn't have to click around or dial the numbers one by one. It should be something where I just click the number on your website, mobile optimized website, and it goes directly to you. This is something that a lot of websites, a lot of restaurants do not have. And I understand why. It's who's going to man this, okay? But you can have somebody either in the back, the bookkeeper or somebody, because you're not going to get a lot of these. But when you do, this customer is much more keen. It's much more likely to spend money or do something with you because of the interactions done. So a chatbot, right? A chat box. So 5 to 10% of visitors will take an action on your website if you have a chatbot. That is not restaurant-wide, by the way. That is generally speaking. So this is an industry, an internet marketing or internet World Wide Web phenomenon. 5 to 10% will interact with your chat. Okay. 90% of visitors leave without a calling. So if they leave without calling, give them the call to action is, hey, instead of calling me, why don't you chat with me? Okay? So a chat box like this can be valuable, and you're looking at maybe 10, 20, 30 bucks a month additional for the different plugins that can plug very easily into your website. So let me talk about a few of these other ones that I haven't talked about. So something that a lot of web designers, not a lot, some web designers don't take into account is, what does a website look on different operating systems? On Chrome, on Firefox, on iOS, which is Apple. What is a website the same in each one of these? You can test that, okay? It's very important. You can test all that. Another thing is a clear call to action. What is it you want people to do? Are you telling people click the link to look at the menu? Are you telling people call us right now to order, to take out order? Are you asking them, hey, why do you buy a coupon? Like every page should have, every single page of every website should have the phone number top right, no matter what. And that should be large and bold. And that is a call to action. That's in their face. But beyond that, what else do you want them to do? So very important. The call to action is critical, and you have to be very strategic and understand what it is you want people to do on each of the pages. We go back to, in this case, we want them to call and for a takeout or delivery, or we want them to write online, right? Go online and chat with you, or send you a message saying, yes, I need more information, or I want to order online, if you have an online ordering system in your website. So now the question becomes, which of the following should you be doing right now based on the current situation we're in right now, thanks to coronavirus? My suggestion is to pick 3. Implement 3 in the next 30 days, right? And it's important to understand. We are going through some times, a period of time that nobody really, I think nobody in the world has ever gone through in terms of a pandemic like this, right? How it's affecting the world economy, that's specifically the U.S. economy, is a big TBD, to be decided. We do know that it's going to affect a lot of people in many different negative ways, because why? Business is not business as usual. In the case of a restaurant, we do believe and we do know that many restaurants are going to be open for business, but only in the capacity of delivery and takeout. So based on everything that I've said here, what are the 3 elements that are going to help you getting more customers in delivery and takeout via your website? So what I'd like for you to do right now is take 2 minutes and just kind of put down 3 bullet points. What are the 3 things that we talked about that I've shown you that you think could be used right in the next 30 days that can help you not build, but build on and or amplify or grow your takeout and delivery because of the actions you're going to take on your website? What are those 3 things now? I'll give you a minute to write some things down. In the meantime, refresher, video, better calls to action, mobile optimized, reviews on your websites. Leverage your avatar. Make sure you know who you're speaking to. If it's skewed women, make sure colors are more feminine. If it's skewed men, make them darker, make them more manly. And once again, I realize restaurants want everybody, but if you can pinpoint who your ideal customer is, then it's very helpful in both your design and your communication to that person. The biggest marketing issue facing restaurants, apart from the coronavirus, is unconverted leads. So those leads that people walk in or walk out of your restaurant, or in the past would go to your website and not take any action. Why? Because for whatever reason, I always use this analogy when I talk to people I know. You're in a mall, okay? I'm in a mall, I'm walking around. There's a store that attracted me. I walk into the store, I literally look around for all of 3 to 5 seconds, and I walk out. Did someone come up to me? No. Did I smell something? No. Did I hear something? Probably not. But for whatever reason, my gut told me, you know what, the store isn't for me. That's the same reaction people get from your website. People land on a website and you have literally 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 seconds max before they say, you know what, I'm out. If you don't give them a reason to stay, because of the colors, because of the visuals, because of whatever it is you're doing, portraying, they will leave. So it's unbelievably important for you guys to understand that what you are doing on your website can play a major role on how people view you and if they're converting into paying customers. So here's the problem. 70% of restaurant website visitors leave unconverted. Once again, website visitors, okay? Not restaurant, website visitors. 50% of restaurant websites are not mobile optimized. So if I were you, the first thing I would do, what does my website look like on a mobile phone? If you haven't looked at that in a while, take a look at it. If it looks great, check it off as no need to act on. If it looks like shit, or you can't see fonts, or things are hard to read, or whatever, that needs to be number one. Because the reality is most people are looking at your website online, and now more than ever, okay? 90% of restaurants' websites are missing 4 or more of these things we might want in this webinar. 4 or more. People believe that, hey, I just need to get my website have a nice logo, have a couple pictures here and there, and my menu. There's much more to a converting website than that. So the solution, right? You want to leverage, and this is not just about websites now. Now you can have a website that does a lot more than what we've talked about, and we'll get in a little bit of detail there. But leveraging automation. You know, we've talked about this, and we talked about in other things I've done. Website visitors come in. Are you collecting their phone number, their email, their text messages? Why? Because you want to, as a restaurant, to own a database. Your database is valuable. All the companies in the world, the biggest ones that are worth the most amount of money are the ones that have an extensive database. Now, you're a local restaurant. You're not going to have millions of people on your database, but a couple thousand people that have gone to your restaurant, you collected their name, email, phone number, you have an asset that other restaurants do not. So is there some way, excuse me, when they're on your website to collect that from them? We'll talk about that in other webinars, but that's something you should consider. Also, automating the follow-up. So when somebody's on your website, right, and you collected information, you want to touch them multiple times. Why? A lot of times, we've talked about this, they'll go to the website and there's no action. They don't do any action. But if you have the right Google Pixel, Facebook Pixel, you can now follow them around. And by the way, it's very inexpensive. You can follow them around the internet, reminding them who you are because they've been to your website. Google, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all those places, they charge you less for what's called retargeting because people, you've already made the effort. You spent the money or done whatever you've had to do to get them to your website, and all it requires from you is having the right pixel from the different channels on your site. So those are something very simple things that you could do to get people back to your web page and reminding them who it is, who you are, what you do, and what kind of food you serve. Okay. We go back to this math. Conversion, conversion, conversion. Scenario 1, take a look at it, understand it. The red is when people land on your website. That is the one variable that we're trying to address here. And yes, there are other variables that average check, transaction size, all those are going to lead to more or less money, correct? But from a perspective of they're on my website, did they take the action I wanted them to take? Did they call me? Did they fill out a form? Are they chatting with me? Did they call to place an order? Those are things that we have the capacity and ability to control with a good, well-designed website. We want to make sure, hopefully, at the end of this webinar, that you see value in that if you change 2, 3, 4 things, and they're not massive changes, there are small tweaks, and they shouldn't be that expensive to make. You can generate more leads and more value with every person that lands on your website. Now, the question then is, who are you going to have implement this? If you already have a web designer, web developer, great. Show them, download the sheet, pick out 2 or 3, pick out 3, you said 3, elements you want in the next 30 days. Ask them to implement. However, if you don't have a website developer, a website designer, then go ahead and contact us in the next slide. We'll show you where. Schedule a call. So websites are only a small part of what we do, but once again, it's arguably the glue that holds everything together. And right now, the world we live in, we want to make sure that they're going to your website, because guess what? They can't go to your restaurant. So really, your website right now is arguably the most important thing you need to work on. So having a good website is going to entice people to figure out, where do I order from? So having the right video, having the right images of the food, of your takeout experience. So one thing is, websites in the past, because of the experience of where we were, would show waiters, waitresses, a full kitchen staff. No, show the website as it pertains to takeout now, as it pertains to delivery. You're gonna have to spend maybe a little bit more money, or change a little bit of the vision, but that's okay, because we don't know if we're gonna be here a few months or longer. So think about that when you're redesigning a website. Once again, here is the 11 things that we talked about. It's in the workbook that you have access to. Please, this should be a webinar of action. Pick 3 things out from this list. 3 things. Give them to your website designer, website developer. Ask them, I want to work on these 3 things. And right now, focus on the delivery. Focus on the takeout. What are we going to do to make that better than the restaurant next to me? Because I understand that these are the things that are going to push the needle, give me a higher ROI based on what I want, now that the website is so valuable. So I'm here to help. So Moses and I, the other co-founder of Jam-Packed Eats, we're here to help. We do websites. We build websites. And we want to make sure that website is one, help you understand, website is one element of it. It's a very important element, especially now, but there are other elements besides the website which we would love to help you understand. So basically, let's talk, right? Here's a link that you can go to and basically schedule a call. I will be on the call personally. By the way, I'm the guy on the right-hand side with a cheesy smile. At your schedule. I'm guessing you guys are people watching this and people watching the replay are going to have time on their hands for at least for the next foreseeable future, because you're still trying to figure out what the hell what you're doing now. When I say time on your hands, you're not twiddling your thumb because you have a business to run. But you're not in the day-to-day jungle of a restaurant that is full, and you have peak hours, and you have slow times. Now it's like one of those times is going to happen. Is it still lunch and dinner, or is it more throughout the day? So you're going to have more time to figure out what can I do to improve my website so I can get more takeout, more delivery business. On that call, right? And by the way, that's the wrong link. This is the correct link. On that call, we also want to do an analysis of your site. So we'll do a thorough analysis of your entire website and tell you what you need to do, both in terms of what we discussed, but also other things too: reviews, reputation, website conversion variables that you may not have considered. So we want to give you a lot of value. It's anywhere 20 to 40 minute call, 20 minutes on the short side, 40 minutes on the long end, depending on how much time you have. But we want to give you value so we can help you create a better website for your current business. And the world we live in now, that's going to affect us going forward. And the website is the variable right now, because once again, they don't have access to your restaurant. They're not going to be able to go in for who knows how long. So they're going to base their decision to order food from you based on your website. So please make sure you understand the variables that we talked about, which are these 3 here. These 11, should I say? And make sure you meticulously go through one by one, knowing what you've changed. But for the time being, pick the best 3 and go through them right away, so that you have the ability to get more clients to take out and delivery. All right. So questions. Let me see what questions we have. Okay. Oh, I addressed this a little bit. Mark's asking a question. What does it cost to create a website? What does it cost to redesign a website? And those are great questions. And in my experience, you can spend anywhere from probably a few $100s, which is next to nothing, to tens of thousands of dollars. So the answer is somewhere in the middle, right? I don't believe you need to spend more than, I would say 5,000 tops for a website, unless of course you're putting in an online ordering system, reservation system. That's a different story. I'm talking about a regular website. You should look at paying between 3,000 and 5,000. I think is a decent amount for a website. For a redesign, depending, if you have a website developer designer, then you can obviously ask for a discount because he knows your system and you're asking for a few changes here and there. That's a few $1,000s. But for a brand new website, I would think to pay between 3,000 and 5,000 is more than reasonable. Less, you get what you pay for as well, right? And you want to make sure that, like I said, the most important aspect, the two most, in my opinion, are mobile optimization, making sure your website is viewable and looks great on a mobile site, and the speed, how fast your website loads, is huge. Nowadays, people do not have the patience to wait, right? So if you can get a faster, because you're hosting somewhere better, it's a better hosting. It's not a typical $10 a month GoDaddy host. It's 40, 50 bucks a month, and you have your own, I think it's server, or it's not a shared server, and it's a faster service. That's better if you have a lot of traffic. If you don't have a lot of traffic, then really you don't need to worry about it. But obviously the goal here is to get as much traffic to your website so they can help you, that'll help convert those customers, those viewers, to real customers ordering food from you. Okay, hope that was helpful. Another question. It says here, this is John. John, it says you talked about a local SEO. He says he's confused because one of the things that came up was putting the review on your website and versus sending them over to a review site like a Google or at Facebook. It's not one or the other, John. It's not do one and forget the other. You still want to get the reviews, of course, on Google, on Facebook, on Yelp, on TripAdvisor, everywhere else, right? What I'm saying is take an image of Google reviews, put that on your website with the average number of stars and the total number of reviews for that time period, and put a picture of it. Put an image on your website. Do it for, I would say, 2 or 3. Do it for Google, do it for Yelp, and do it for, depending on where you're at. If it's like you're on the beach or you're on somewhere touristy, TripAdvisor, or it could be Facebook. But do, I would say, minimum 3. And if you have more, great, do more. Especially if you're a successful restaurant and reviews is a big, you spent money and time and energy getting reviews, show them off. Put them on your website. And like I said, you're still working towards getting reviews on those platforms. Very, very important. But the reality is you want them to see how many reviews on all these different platforms you're getting on your website, okay? Okay, that looks like it's all the questions. Let me see if I have more slides. So let me go on to this with respect to digital dominance. Some of the things that you should be considering right now, in these times of challenges. Yes, money is going to be tough right now for a lot of different companies, a lot of people. It's like, how do I pinch my pennies? But at the same time, people are still, it's not that we don't have money to spend, right? Because still people need to eat. No matter what, they're going to eat. Now, how often they eat from you is a question. So spending a little bit of money on what I consider paid ads is a good investment. Because once again, as a local restaurant, you only need a radius of 5 miles, 10 miles max. You're spending $5, $10 a day, $20 a day if you want to go really, really big. And you're getting people's awareness. And you're telling people that you do provide takeout. You do provide delivery. You're no longer saying, come to a restaurant, sit down. It's, hey, check out our delivery menu. Hey, check out our takeout menu. Hey, look at some of the images, some of the videos, some of the pictures we offer. I cannot stress that enough. I think that is a huge, huge momentum shifter right now for restaurants if they're willing to spend a little bit of money on Facebook, on Instagram, not necessarily Google, but on platforms where there's awareness, which is Facebook and Instagram. Okay. All right. Video. Let me address one more thing. Once again, I love video because it paints a really good picture. Now, instead of showing you can still show your kitchen. You want to show your food. You want to show the packaging. You want to show what it takes that you guys are delivering. Show that process from A to Z, what it means when someone calls in, and then how that works in your kitchen to the person that is ready with the bag at your front, at the front of your store, at front of your restaurant, ready to give it to the person. Film that. And you don't need to spend lots of money with an inexpensive video crew. Use your iPhone and then do a voiceover. But spend the time, spend the money and the resources on, and I say the money, spend the resources on developing a homemade video of what it looks like if someone were to order food from you, okay? So I hope those two were helpful. Once again, this is the link to get a call with Moses or I, and it's not just a call to discuss your website. We want to give you an analysis, a full analysis of your of everything you're doing, specifically your site, but also other things that you could be doing now differently that's going to help you get more clients during these rough times, these tough times, and what it means, what it's going to take, what is it you need to do based on our expertise, and whether or not you use this or not, you're going to get a summary information that's going to help you in the long run, on the short, medium, and long run. All right, that is the presentation. I want to thank you guys for participating in this, the first of many webinars. I would appreciate any feedback, any comments. Send me an email. My email is Jamie, Jaime, @jampackedeats.com. If you have any questions, feel free to call me. I'm sorry, to email me. Of course, set up a schedule call. We can discuss anything you have. And I really hope this was a well worth of, it took 51 minutes. Not bad. I thought it'd be an hour, but you know, I'll live 51 minutes. I hope everybody got value out of it, and I look forward to hopefully working with some of you. And I want to provide lots of value, because this is a time where you need to come together. And Moses and I are committed to helping the restaurateurs, restaurants, the hospitality business, and getting through this tough time. Okay, thank you. Take care, everybody. Be safe. Bye.